Kept on location at the beautiful Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. This is Ken Venturi's Encyclopedia of Golf, a unique 8-volume series designed to offer in-depth instruction on all facets of the game. Ken Venturi has left an indelible mark on golf as a player, broadcaster, and teacher. One of the game's great shot makers, he has won 14 tournaments, including a dramatic triumph at the 1964 U.S. Open. He is a respected teacher, and his stroke saver tips have helped millions. In the Encyclopedia of Golf, he offers the lessons he's learned in over 40 years of playing and teaching. This is Volume 5, Shot Making.
Hi, I'm Ken Venturi, and now I'm going to teach you shot making. I'm going to teach you how to hit the ball left to right, right to left, hit it in low, hit it in high. You know why you have to know these things? So they can't hide the pin from you. But to be a good shot maker, you have to have the right fundamentals. So let's take a moment and review the fundamentals. To start with, you have to have a good grip. A good grip allows your hands to work together and provides for maximum feel and control. I recommend the Varden, or the overlapping grip. This is the grip that most tour players use. The left hand is a finger palm grip. The club passes from the index finger to the heel of the left hand. When it closes down, the forefinger and the thumb form a V going over the right shoulder. The right hand is a finger grip. You get it in the fingers where the thumb and forefinger also points over the right shoulder. You want the palm of your right hand and the back of your left hand pointing at the same target. And remember not to squeeze the club too tightly. Think of it this way. It's like holding a bird. You hold it too tight, you kill it. Too loose, it flies away. With most clubs, your stance should be about shoulder width. But with the longer clubs, you need a wider stance to give a proper base to swing from. You put the weight on your heels, flex your knees, and stay in your flex throughout the swing. Keep your back straight and bend from the waist. I recommend that you play the ball at the bottom of your swing arc. And for me, that's off the left heel. I also recommend that you maintain the same ball position for every shot. Now, some people will tell you that you should play short irons back in your stance and long irons forward. But if you change your ball position, you change your swing, and isn't it easier to make one swing with 13 different clubs rather than be constantly making adjustments to compensate for 13 different ball positions? The only time I change ball position is when I need to work the ball higher or lower than normal, and even then, I don't change it very much. When you swing the club, don't think about hitting the ball. Think about making a smooth swing, because if you make a good swing, you'll strike the ball well. Take the club straight back. Concentrate on going low and slow. You want a swing shaped like an elongated U. Let me explain the elongated U. It's taking club head, hands, and shoulders back in one piece. If it was a V, it'd be up too abrupt. You don't want it too flat because you'd be falling away from it. It's a natural move. If you move club head, hands, and shoulders, you go from backswing to finish. The first 18 inches back, 18 inches through. It's one piece here and one piece there. I like to visualize all my swings. I like to visualize my shots. And you know how you can visualize the U swing? Think of a swing set. You start here, it swings here, and it swings there. And all you have to do now is carry that right down to the ball, and you go from here to there. And that's the U swing. I believe there are 3 gaps that must be closed on the swing. If you close the gap between your left shoulder and your chin, you are ensuring a full turn. If you close the gap between your left hip and an imaginary shaft running up from your left heel, you will drop your hands into a consistent, powerful hitting position, and you won't come over the top or spin out. Plus, this ensures that your club is moving on the proper swing path into the ball. And finally, if you close the gap between your right shoulder and chin, you will complete your swing. If you're going to be a good player, you must have good tempo. I recommend that you take the club back low and slow and build your power on the downswing. This allows you to stay in balance and make a solid hit and achieve maximum distance. Notice how smooth my swing is. I don't rush my backswing. I don't rush my downswing. Notice how I take the club straight back and straight through. From this angle, you can really see how I build power with my legs. As I start my downswing, I slide laterally to the left with my lower body. This closes the gap and drops my club into a powerful hitting position. Notice how square it is at impact. And square hits give you power and distance. I talk a lot about fundamentals, but I do it because fundamentals last. This is my swing when I was on tour. This is my swing today. I swing the club very much the same way as I did 30 years ago. For one simple reason, it works. This is the fun part of the game, being able to maneuver the ball. I felt if I couldn't maneuver the ball, I wouldn't enjoy playing. If I had to play one shot the rest of my life, I'd lose interest in playing. It's being able to move the ball left to right, right to left, up and down. I gave you the basic fundamentals, and without the basic fundamentals, this part of the game would be impossible. I said that a good player does not get out of swing, he gets out of position. You put him back into position, his swing comes back. To be able to maneuver the ball, you have to get in position. The grip does not change, only the position of the body, being able to make the ball go left to right or right to left, high and to go low. So, if I want the ball to go from left to right, I don't change my grip by getting weak, I change my position. I'm on line here now, in the position that I want to go. Shoulders, knees, and club head straight back. Now, I do three things to make the ball go from left to right. By that, I open my stance, I open my hips, and I put my hands ahead. Now I've changed the angle of my takeaway. I'm now taking it away on the same line as my knees, my hips, and my shoulders. Now, many people make the mistake of opening the blade now, and that makes them cut across the ball, chopping it with a flutter with not much power in it. I like to keep it square, and as I go through, let the heel precede the toe to let it be a solid shot and move from left to right. So, here's my basic position here. Now what I want to do, I open my stance, I open my hips, I put my shoulders open, and now I take it on the outside. Remember, the grip stays the same, the grip pressure and everything. So going on the line from left to right, I cut across the ball, staying from here to there. I did not change my grip. Here's my divot. It's on the same line as my knees, my hips, and my shoulders. The ball moved from left to right. Now, we go just the opposite now. We want to make the ball go from right to left. Again, we change position, not grip. We don't hook our grip now to make it go from right to left, to hook it or draw the ball. I don't like to use the word hook. I like it to draw. A draw is more of a slow motion swing. It's kind of this way. A fade is more harsh because you want to put more spin on it. So what do I do now? I go back into my basic position. And now again, I change my position, not my grip. Here's my straight line. Now what do? I hook my stance. I hook my hips, and I put my hands ahead. Now this time I open the toe of the club because I want it to close down over the heel. I don't close it down here or it'd be a pull. I open the toe, take it back in one piece, and then I close the toe down over the ball, not with the hands. It's all done with the right side, the right arm, to this way. So my basic position is here, and now what do I want to do? I hook my stance, I hook my hips, I put my hands ahead, taking the club on the inside, the same line that I have my body and my knees here. From here, making the ball go right to left. Now this divot went from this way, which was exactly where my knees, my stance, and my shoulders were. So everything there to make the ball go from left to right and right to left is all done by position. It takes practice, but what you do is you visualize this when you go to a golf course or you go to a practice range. There are times that it'll be easier to fade the ball because it looks like a fade. It looks easier to draw the ball because it looks like a draw. The one thing a good player will not do, and I never believed in doing it, is fighting your eye. If it looks like it should go left to right, let it go left to right. Don't play a draw. If it looks like it should go right to left, play the right to left. The biggest enemy we have in trying to hit a golf ball straight is our eye. The ultimate of aiming is to be able to aim and look where you want to hit it. For instance, let's take the fork in the tree at the top of the hill. I'm aiming at the fork of the tree. No, I'm looking at the fork of the tree. I'm aiming 40 yards to the right. And what do? Just like a pitcher, I come through all gyrations, but my hand comes back to my eye. And what does my golf swing do? It comes back to my eye. So what you have to do is, if you get yourself on line here and here and be able to aim at the fork in the tree, then you're perfect. If you want the ball to go left to right, you aim where you want the ball to start, not where you want it to end up. If you want it to go right to left, you aim where you want it to start, not to end up. Okay, I've shown you how to draw the ball and fade it. These are great shots to learn so that you can attack the pin anywhere on the green. Now let's talk about hooking and slicing. These are shots you use to get out of trouble. To hook the ball, you simply exaggerate the draw technique. Close your stance and aim your body where you want the ball to start, not where you want the ball to finish. Open the club face slightly. By opening it up, you're triggering in your brain the impulse to turn your right hand and the club over at impact, which produces a hook spin on the ball. You may want to experiment by strengthening your grip, turning both hands slightly to the right. But if you can play the shot with your normal grip, so much the better. Many people say bring the club back to the inside on the backswing, but I disagree. Make your normal backswing and then concentrate on rolling your hands over at impact. The faster your hands roll over, the more the ball will hook. A hook comes out hot, so you might want to take a little less club. To slice the ball, visualize how you want the shot to move. Address the ball with the club face aimed at the spot where you want the ball to start, and align your body to that target line. Keep the club face square. If you open the club face, you will start slicing too soon. The slice is a hold shot. By that I mean you want to hold your release. You don't want your hands turning over at impact. Contrary to most instructors, I recommend that you use a strong left-hand grip. Turn your left hand over so that you can see 3 knuckles instead of 2. And I want you to slightly weaken your right hand by turning it to the left so that the V points at the center of your chest. Take the club outside the target line and swing down to the ball along the same outside to in swing path. You are actually cutting across the ball, putting a left to right spin on it. You should feel as though your left hand is leading the club into the ball. And one last thing, don't let your left hand break down. So that's the way you make it go from left to right and right to left, because if the pin is in the right, you have to come in from left to right. If you have, say, I have a 5-iron and the pin is in the right, I can hit the 5-iron harder left to right. I can hit it easier from right to left because the hook is a little hotter. So you're about a half a club difference when you're going left to right and right to left. Now we'll get into hitting the ball high and hitting the ball low. Talking about hitting the ball high and hitting the ball low, again, I'm talking position. I'm not talking any gimmicks. I know you've read many times, put the ball back in your stance and move your hands here. You can get into too many different positions. You work off the same position. You start from plan A, the basic position, which is your best position, which this is mine with my 5-iron. I've taken the 5-iron on all these shots because it's the club I think you can maneuver the ball better. It's in between accuracy and length. It's a club that you can take out of your bag and hit one club and do most everything with the 5-iron. So, going back to hitting the ball high and low, here is my basic position. Now, I want to hit the ball high. I don't move the ball forward. All I do are three things. One, I move my right foot back without moving the butt of the club. Now I put the ball forward. I grip the club a little longer. And then I make a little fuller turn. But in every one of these shots, I must remember to never come out of my flex. Because I want the ball to go high, doesn't mean I have to help it up. If you want the ball to go up, you stay down. So I get my basic stance, and then what do? Move my right foot, grip the club longer, and just now make a little fuller turn. Now we get into the knockdown shot, just the opposite of hitting the ball high. We take our basic position again. And now what do? I do three things. I choke down on the club more. I move just my left foot to here, and I also move my hands with my left foot. Now I'm in front of the ball. Instead of looking behind the ball, I'm looking right here in the front of the ball. This is more of a descending blow to drive the ball down. You take more of a divot with it. You don't take as long a backswing, and you don't take as long a follow-through. So start with your basic position here, like this. Then move your left foot, move your hands, and choke down. Looking in front of the ball, driving the ball low. I've abbreviated the backswing, and I've abbreviated the follow-through. The high shot, high finish. Low shot, low finish. Now you're able to hit the ball high, low, left, and right. They can't hide a pin from you. You know what they can do now? They can put it anywhere they want to, because I can find a way to get at it. Now this is where you can have your fun. Go out and always practice doing high shots or low shots. But one thing you want to do is after you practice those, always go back to your basic position. The three-quarter shot. This is played a lot in Ireland and Scotland. The British players played a lot. All the players in Europe. I think they play it much better than we do over here. What you do here is you have a combination of it's easier and you take more club. Sure, I can get to my object with a 9-iron by going very hard, but I don't like to hit a hard short iron. I really don't like to hit anything hard that's above a 5-iron, because that's why I have 14 clubs in my bag. I can always drop back. This is more accurate, it is easier to hit, and it goes much straighter. What I do here, if I had my regular stance with an 8-iron here, only thing I change is I get maybe a little narrower. And then what I do is I play a three-quarter shot. Instead of hitting a hard 9-iron, I just take a nice floating 8-iron. What I want to do now, instead of getting the ball up in the air with a hard 8-iron, I bring it down because I'm hitting the ball a little easier, and I can control it. So what I want to do here, narrow my stance, and watch this. Just a soft 8-iron. It's not a long follow-through. That shot is invaluable. The side heel lie with the ball above your feet. The ball is definitely going to go left, but here's how you do it. The terrain, or how much you're on the slope, will determine how much the ball will go left. You determine your yardage, you know how far you are from the hole. Now you pick out your club. I'm 170 yards here. What I do here is I get lower and drop my hands because I want the sole of the club to be flat on the ground, on the angle that I'm going to hit the ball. If I got up high and close, then I'd have the heel off the ground, catching the toe and missing the shot. I put the ball in the same position. I put my hands in the same position. I'm lower, drop my hands, I take it away in one piece. Everything is the same. Now it's the setup. I have to aim 15 yards to the right of my target because the slope will bring it back almost 15 yards. Once I get the distance, I have to trust my swing now. I look at the hole to determine how far I am, and then I determine where I want the ball to start. Once I get my distance, I'm not concerned about the pin anymore. I'm concerned about where I'm aiming. I'm aiming 15 yards to the right of the hole, because the slope will make the ball move that much. Ball in the stance off the left heel, lower my body, lower my hands, and now I'm looking at the object where I want the ball to start, not where I want the ball to end up, and trusting the swing. Remember, how much slope you're on will determine how much it will go left. But never look back at the object, because what you'll do then is you'll pull back to the object where you want it to end and pull it 15 yards left of the green. The side hill lie with the ball below your feet. This is a shot that the ball will go to the right. Unlike the side hill lie with the ball above your feet, which you have to reach for, the side hill lie with the ball below your feet, you have to get closer to the ball. Because if you stand back, you have the toe off the ground. You want to get closer so the center of the club is at the center of the ball. You play it off the left heel, but now I have to aim to the left-hand side of the green. I'm aiming to the left, my knees, my whole position is to the left-hand side of the green, because I am trusting that the ball will go left to right. Just like every side hill lie, how much slope there is will determine how much the ball will go right or on the other side, or the ball will go left. I aim now to the left-hand side of the green. I play the ball off my left heel. Everything I have aimed now is at where I want the ball to start. I know the distance to the hole. What I'm trying to do now is look back where I want the ball to start, not where I want the ball to end. So with the ball closer to me here, back on my heels, and now I let the terrain take care of the shot. Remember, when the ball is below your feet, it will always go to the right. Above your feet, it will always go left. It's only determined by how much slope there is. The more the slope, the more the curve. Okay, you're going to be a shot maker. You're going to want to know how to spin the ball, how to back it up. Well, it's not as hard as it looks. I've taught you the elongated U swing. Well, that's the same swing I want you to use on this shot. Take the club back low and slow. To spin the ball properly, I think you want to hit a shot that comes in fairly shallow. You're not trying to hit the ball real high. You get your spin with your right hand and your right knee. The faster you drop your right hand and right knee into the ball, the more spin you'll get. Now, timing here is critical. If your right knee lags back, your right hand is going to roll over and produce a hook. One other thought, you don't want to take a deep divot. You want a shallow divot, almost picking the ball clean. A few thoughts on playing from the rough. Practice these shots on the range so that you'll know what to do when you get them on the course. Too many golfers never practice trouble shots, and even the best of us miss a lot of fairways. When you're in the rough, the first thing you must do is make sure that you choose a club with enough loft to get the ball out. Don't try to be a hero and pull off an impossible shot. The club has a tendency to twist on you as it goes through the rough, so keep a firm grip. But I said firm, not tight. Now, a shot comes out of the rough without any backspin, so it might roll a good bit. Remember this when you are choosing your club. Your ball ends up in a grass bunker around the green. Don't worry, you can handle it. Here's how you go about it. You grip the club longer. You grip the club a little lighter, and you take a fuller swing, just dropping the club on the ball. It's not one you're trying to help the ball through the rough. It's one where you want to leave the weight of the club striking down on the ball, which makes the ball pop up. I've just hit the ball over the green. I'm on the hard pan. I'm lucky I didn't go out of bounds. I had to play a little pitch shot, but the fence is in the way. I have to improvise. You know what I do? I move the ball back to my right foot. I put my hands ahead in catching the ball on a downswing. But the beauty of it, I have a wedge that doesn't have a lot of bounce. If I had bounce on hard pan, I'd skip into the ball, scull it right over the green. What I can do with my wedge is I can tuck it right up under the ball, perfectly. Put my hands ahead and just trap the ball. Improvise. That's what you have to do. Try shots you've never tried before. Someday you'll have a shot like that. Get the right equipment and right technique, and you'll have more fun you ever had in your whole life. Learning shot making is critical because of one thing. Not every hole is straight. Not every pin is in the middle of the green, and we don't always hit it straight down the middle. What you have to do is you have to learn all these shots. I know when I come back and play golf by myself sometimes, rather than just being alone, I'll play 2 golf balls. I'll play one with a fade and one with a draw to see which one wins. I learned golf from Byron Nelson, who was one of the greatest strikers of the golf ball I've ever seen. And I used to play a lot of golf with Ben Hogan. And he said one thing: if the pin's in the right, you bring it in from left to right. If the pin's left, you bring it in right to left. Because if you ever play with Ben Hogan and the pin was in the right-hand side and you drew the ball in, he'd make you find another game.
Ken Venturi's Encyclopedia of Golf is the most remarkable instructional video ever produced. Taped on location at the beautiful Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. This is Ken Venturi's Encyclopedia of Golf, a unique 8-volume series designed to offer in-depth instruction on all facets of the game. Ken Venturi has left an indelible mark on golf as a player, broadcaster, and teacher. One of the game's great shot makers, he has won 14 tournaments, including a dramatic triumph at the 1964 U.S. Open. He is a respected teacher, and his stroke saver tips have helped millions. In the Encyclopedia of Golf, he offers the lessons he's learned in over 40 years of playing and teaching. This is Volume 6, The Clinic.
Hi, I'm Ken Venturi, and this is The Clinic. If you're hooking the ball, slicing, topping it, hitting it fat, skying it, you'll find a solution in this tape. But I don't believe in correcting a fault with a fault. Like, for instance, if you're slicing, I don't believe in giving you a hook grip. That's just another fault. I believe in going back to the fundamentals, to the foundation. So before we go on, let's check the fundamentals. A little refresher on the grip. The club passes from the index finger to the palm of the hand in the left hand. When closed, the V from the index finger and thumb goes over the right shoulder. The right hand is a finger grip, like holding a pistol. You open it up and you put the club in. The V formed by the thumb and index finger also goes over the right shoulder. The pressure point is the palm of the right hand against the thumb of the left hand. If that works together, all the pressure is perfect. So you cross it from index finger to palm, V formed by the thumb and forefinger to the right shoulder, right hand or finger grip with the V going also over the right shoulder. The palm of the right hand presses against the thumb of the left hand. The V from the right hand also points over the right shoulder. Now I put some dots on my knuckles, and here's what happens. If you have too strong of a grip, you can see 3, maybe 4 knuckles. What that does, you take the club back close. Causes you to pull, to hook, to even shank. chop at the ball. Then if it's too weak, the V comes over my left shoulder. I don't see any dots. Then I go outside, cutting across the ball, too deep at divots, pushing, coming inside. All those come from a weak grip. So what you want here is you want the V over the right shoulder, the V from the right hand over the right shoulder, seeing two knuckles, which then allows you to take the club back in one piece. The grip and alignment are the basis of all the corrections you have to go through. Without the correct alignment, you cannot correct any of the other faults. This is the basis, this is the most important of getting yourself in a position where you can look and aim at the target. Here's how you do it. First, you start with the club behind the ball that's aiming at the flag. Then you put another club parallel to this outside the ball, which gives you your takeaway in one piece. And then you put another club at your feet, which is parallel, going in the same direction. Now you get rid of this club here, and now you've got your alignment. You've got your feet on line, you got your knees on line, you got your shoulders on line, and you got the club on line. The worst thing about this is that you'll find right away that you're aiming in the wrong direction. You're looking at the target, but you might have been like this, which brings you back to the target. So you go back to the clubs and hit balls with the clubs on the ground so that you can see that all your angles are all there, the ball's off the left heel, and now strike the ball and you'll find how far offline you have been with your eyes. These shafts and this position does not lie. You're hooking. One of two things are happening, or both. Your alignment, you're going into a hook stance, or your grip, you have a hook grip. What happens with that when you have a hook stance and a hook grip, you aim to the right of the target. And then what you do is you pull it back, coming across the line and hooking the ball. Check your alignment. Check your V over the right shoulder. Check your takeaway. Because if you're hooking, here's the things you're doing. You've hooked your stance. You've gotten farther from the ball. You've hooked your grip. And what that allows you to do is you take it back closed. And when you come down, you're coming over the top. And look what the 5-iron looks like now. It looks like about a 3-iron. So know what you do? You got this stance, you got this grip, you got this position, and you know what you do? That. You miss the green, you might even miss the golf course. What you want to do now, check your alignment, check your grip, and check your takeaway. One of those things is causing a hook. A number of things causes slices. 1, your open stance. 2, open hips. Too far from the ball, reaching. A weak grip where the left hand is here and the right hand is on top. Or sometimes it can even be from a little stronger grip, which makes you cut across. Your takeaway either goes outside or your takeaway either goes inside and you loop back. When you do that, you're coming up. You're straightening your leg. You open your stance, open your hips, your shoulders out, your grip is weak, you're either outside or inside and over the top. All those things can cause a slice. More than one most of the time, too. There can be 1, 2, 3, or 4 faults. And what happens? You go outside and what do? It's a big old slice. No balance, no swing. Go back to basics. Check your stance, check your alignment, check your grip, and check your takeaway. You're pulling the ball. Now don't confuse pulling with hooking. Hooking, the ball bends to the left. Pulling, it goes directly left of the target. It starts here and goes left without hooking. You have checked all your alignment. You've checked your position. You've checked your knees. You're on line. And you can't figure it out? You know what it is? It's your right shoulder. What you're doing is you're putting the club down and you're reaching over the top of the club, which gets you shoulder out, elbow up, hand on top. You feel like you're making a good swing, except what you're doing, your shoulders are aimed to the left of the target. Now your club is just following your shoulders. Shoulder out, elbow up. What do? You pull it to the left. Here's how to correct that. You get yourself into position and you check your right shoulder. Here. What do? Stand up. Put your hand behind you like this. Put the club down. Now, put your right hand on the club without moving your right shoulder forward. What do you do now? You reach under it. You reach down and under. Now you've got your shoulders on line. You got your right elbow in, and you got your right hand in the right position. So after you've checked your alignment, your position, and you're still pulling, be sure to check your right shoulder. You're pushing a ball. Unlike pulling where the shoulder is out, pushing the ball is from a swing flaw. It's where the ball starts directly right of the target and stays there. It's never on line. You can be in the best position, you can be all lined up, you can be right on target. But here's the things you look for when you're pushing. One, your left hand is leading your right, which causes you to come up. Your left hip is staying back, and your left knee is straightening up, which causes it to go to the right. You could be taking it on the inside and swinging directly out, which is causing you to go to the right. All these things cause a push. What you want to do here is you want to take it back in one piece, and then as you start down, lead with the heel of the left hand, but let the right hand catch up at impact, right to here. You want the left hip to hit the door jamb, to go this way, which puts the club behind you here. And what you also want to do is to make sure you stay down. All the pushes come from coming up, going this way. It's like tug of war. Put the club behind you, pull with this, and let the right hand catch up with the left. Because if you're going to stay high, club behind you, you can aim it at the flag, but you're going to do this. See how high, how straight, much I've led? Square up, stay down, and let everything drive on line with the right hand catching up at impact. You're shanking. Yes, shanking. I'm not about to hit one for you. I'm going to show you how you correct it. I'm not about to put a shank into this club. It's never seen one, and I don't want it to ever know what happens with it. What you do here in shanking, after you get lined up, the heel of the club meets the ball first. It's caused by different things. It's caused by the left hand turning up, which lets this lead. It's caused by the left hand leading too much. It's caused by coming up. And another one is going past the ball, swaying past the ball. What you want to do is get yourself set up, pretend you have a watch on, and you want the left hand to break the watch against the wall. Bang. Therefore, the back of the hand is in line with the face. You wouldn't hit a tire, as we spoke about, like this. You'd pop it like this. Or chop a tree. You wouldn't chop this way, you chop that way. So if this hand stays on that line, we'll keep this face on line, but once the hand goes up, the heel of the club leads. So it's either by hand coming up, left hand leading, coming out of your swing, or swaying past the ball, all leads the heel of the club into shanking. You can practice this by putting the ball down on the side of it, so that if you were going to go that, you'd hit that over there. You have to stay inside the ball. The ultimate is to let your right hand catch up at impact. This is straight, You can't tell the time. This is in line with the back of the hand. You're not swaying. So get your alignment. And let your right hand catch up with your left at impact. So if you're shanking, remember, you can tell time at impact. You're topping the ball. It's the same fault no matter if you have a pitching wedge, a medium iron, long iron, or a driver. It's the same fault applies to everything. What's happening there is that the left knee is straightening, the left hip is going backwards, and you're coming up like this, straightening, instead of staying down. You do not miss a ball because you look up. You miss a ball because you come up. I can keep the flex in my knees, and I can look up all I want. I can go like this. I never saw the ball, but I never lost the flex in my knees. What happens when you miss the ball? It's because you come up. Watch my left knee, watch my left hip. It goes like this. That's what I've done. All you have to do to keep from topping the ball, or coming over the top of the ball, which causes topping, is keep the flex in the left knee, move your left hip forward. But the main thing is do not lose the flex in your knees. Take it back and keep the flex. Right there. You keep that position, moving this forward, and you've cured topping. You're hitting the ball fat. It's caused by one of three things. Either you're dipping your head, you're losing the flex in your knees, or you're throwing it on the downswing. All fat shots are caused by one of those three faults, or maybe all of them. What happens with the knees on the backswing? The right knee goes back, left knee comes out, causing the club to go inside. Then you take it up, and then the left knee straightens, and the right knee comes out, and you throw it down over the top, and also causes your head to dip down because of this knee going out. What you want to do is you want to get yourself in position and take the club head, hands, and shoulders in one piece, keeping the flex the same. Letting your right knee catch up with your left on the follow-through. So if the right knee goes back on the backswing and the left knee out, you go like this. Look at the knee. This is that. That's all fat shots. What I want to do is I want to make sure that my knees stay in the flex. I want to make sure that I don't throw the club from the top. And I want to make sure that my head doesn't dip down into the ball. So keeping my flex, not throwing it from the top, and don't let my head dip down. Those three things will cause you to hit the ball fat. Remember, stay in the flex, don't throw the club, and keep your head still. Your sky and your tee shots. Well, there are two things you're doing in your swing. One, you're either passing the ball this way, catching it on the downswing, going to the right, or you're going backwards, falling away, and throwing the club, skying it off to the left. What you want to feel like is you're facing in a mask, or you got the hub of the wheel is right here, and you're going around this way, and staying in that position, and hitting the ball, staying behind it, not passing it, and not going backwards. But the one thing I want you to check most of all is how you tee the ball. For instance, if I teed the ball like that, I'd have to change my swing. I'd have to come up to get the ball. What you want to do is put the ball on the tee so that half the ball is below the club and half is above the club. So what you got the inlay here, you just split the difference right there. Half the ball is below the top of the club and half the ball is above the top of the club. Now, without going forward or throwing it and going backwards, working around the hub, you got the ball teed correctly, and all you want now is to go from here to there. Remember, check how high you're teeing the ball, make that consistent, and then don't pass it, and don't throw and go backwards. You'd like to get some more distance on your driver. Here's some things to look for. Maybe your left foot is turned in too much here, which restricts your turn. Put your left foot out about 20 degrees so you can flow through it. Maybe your right foot is turned out too far, which allows you to sway off the ball. Turn that to almost about 10 degrees or 90 degrees this way. Maybe you're not shifting your weight. Maybe your weight is going forward on the backswing. What you have to do to get your weight shift is just like you're walking. You go back, forward, back, forward. Maybe you're not making a big enough turn. Maybe you're only going to here. Another thing you may be doing, you may be stopping at the ball. You're not accelerating to your finish. All those things can add up to giving you more yardage by turning out your left toe, getting your hips square, extending your backswing, let your arms leave your body, and going past the ball to the finish, not hitting at the ball, but through it. And you know, one other thing may help you too. I know it's helped a lot of people. They've gone to metal drivers, and they've gone to the solid ball. So put all those things together with a good turn and a good swing. Try some of those things. It'll give you more distance. People will ask me, how can I lengthen my swing? How can I shorten my swing? You do it with your left thumb. Let me show you how. My normal grip, my left thumb is extended just about one thumb from my index finger to the end of my thumb. If I shorten my thumb to here, I shorten my swing because of restriction. I can't get it back. If I lengthen my thumb, I'm not restricted anymore. I can go back much farther. So no matter where you put your thumb, wherever you start, if you have a short thumb, short swing, long thumb, longer swing. But the one thing I want you to watch is I'm not changing my hand position. I'm not going back and forth like all the time like this. All I'm moving is my thumb. My thumb goes shorter, fingers stay there, or thumb goes longer. So if I have a short thumb, bringing it up to almost to my index finger, I have a short swing. Now, if I take the thumb and extend it down the shaft, the swing will get longer. So remember, if your swing is too long, shorten your left thumb. If it's too short, lengthen your left thumb. The bunker shot, a shot that every amateur fears, and yet is one of the easiest shots in the game. What happens with the amateur, he tries to hit 2 inches behind the ball, and the ball stays in the bunker, it goes flying over the green. What happens there is you don't know where the ground is. Sand is hard, sand is soft, maybe it's wet, you don't know. But all you want to do is slip the club under the ball. You're not even trying to hit the ball. What you're trying to do is pretend the ball is on a tee, and you want to clip the tee out from under the ball. All you do now is look down through the ball. I put the ball off my left heel. I open the club, and all I want to do now is slip the club under the ball. Now, I'll go ahead and do that. Here's a tee. I put the ball on the tee. You can't tell the ball's on a tee right there. You can't see it, but it's there. So I visualize I don't care about the ball. All I want to do now is clip the tee out from under the ball. Same swing, same divots. Everything's the same. I took the ball away. I had one priority. All I want to do is clip the tee from under the ball. And the more height you want, the more you open the blade. The farther you want it to go, the longer you'll take the follow through. The bunker shot is not that difficult. We make it difficult because we're hitting down or we're trying to help it out. Just put some tees in a bunker and practice clipping the tees. And then go over, put the ball down, and pretend it's sitting on a tee, and clip the tee out from under the ball. Let's talk about the grip. I use the reverse overlap where the index finger of my left hand is between the two middle fingers of my right hand. That's the one I use. You play golf, you've seen a lot of golfers, and you've seen as many grips as you want. Choose the one you like that feels comfortable. But I would recommend this with both hands working together and the thumbs going up and down the shaft. Ball position and stance. I put the ball just inside my left heel, and that puts my hands up on my left leg. I like the ball a little more in front of me so I can look under and look at the line better instead of looking over and losing the line. As far as stance, I'm slightly open. I want my stance open because I feel freer. I can get through the ball easier. I can move my arms easier. There's a square stance, which I think causes most of the time people to go over the top. If you're coming over the top, people go into a hook stance where they drop their right shoulder back. There's a wide stance where they put the ball in the middle of their stance. Or there's a narrow one. But I think there's too much variance there. I like to put it always in the same spot, off the left heel, slightly open, and looking under the putt. That way I feel freer. I can get behind the ball. I've dropped my right shoulder. I've dropped my right side. I let my arms hang. And now all I have to do is move the club head with the big muscles, with the shoulders, and stay down. Let's talk about the stroke. One thing you have to do, you have to complete your backswing before you follow through. It's a part of a golf swing. What happens when you miss most putts is because you rush the downswing. It makes you go past the ball. If you don't complete your backswing by moving the club head with the large muscles in the shoulders, you can't make a good stroke. Here's a good little exercise. Put a tee behind the ball, about that far, depending on how far the putt is. What that makes me do is it makes me go back to the tee, consciously getting to it, pausing, and then hitting the putt. That's what I like to get myself in a position where I know now I've completed my backswing, and now I can start my downswing. The one thing I want to do is keep my head still. And I think you keep your head still by not moving your knees. Remember, if you move your knees, everything moves. If you keep your knees still, your head will stay still. So put the tee behind the ball, take your regular grip, swing the club head with your shoulders, and go from backswing to follow through. Now let's consider the practice stroke. And that's what it is. It's a practice stroke. It's practicing the one you want to use when the ball is there. It doesn't do any good to go like this and kind of throw your putter around like you see a lot of people do. No. If you're going to use a practice stroke, use the one you're going to use when you hit the ball. You get over it just like the ball is there. And let me give you a little clue about practice strokes so you don't change your attitude when the ball is there. Put the club next to the ball, right there, and take your practice stroke by watching the ball so that you're looking at the ball and taking your practice stroke like you want to go when the hole is there. You see what I'm doing? I walk up now and I'm still looking at the same object. I don't freeze over the ball because I'm looking at the ball as I'm taking my practice stroke. So I'd recommend, you don't take a long time with it, I'd recommend 2 practice strokes. Take one where you get set here now, looking at the ball, 1, 2. Walk up, and all you're doing now is taking another practice stroke. Sometimes they lip out, but I still hit it well. I just hit a little too firm. But the stroke that I hit the ball with was exactly like the strokes that I was practicing. Let me leave you with this thought. If you corrected a fault and you feel comfortable, chances are you haven't corrected that fault. Because any time you correct a fault, it's going to be uncomfortable. For a while it will be, as long as you keep working at it. If you keep working at it, it'll get comfortable, and your game will get better and your scores will get lower.
Ken Venturi's Encyclopedia of Golf is the most remarkable instructional video ever produced. This 8-volume series is excitingly different from other Taped on location at the beautiful Sherwood Country Club.